and then go back down to 1700.
Okay, yeah.
1700, let's do that mag check again. Much better, right?
Yeah, it's better.
Cool, so that's good. Then check our right.
Right.
Right's also good.
Yeah.
And those are within 50 feet of each other.
Okay.
So magneto check is good. Now we have to do the ammeter check.
Okay.
So you want to push just the left side of the master switch and put that in. Yep. And what we're looking for is we have our, ooh, my hand's cold. Down there in front of it, you see that ammeter gauge?
Yeah, I can see that.
See how it's negative?
It's like between -1 and 0.
Yep. And then you can turn it back on again. And we get a positive rise again.
Okay, yeah, it went 0, yeah.
The ammeter's working.
Yep.
Now we want to check engine instruments. So these two are our engine instruments. Both of them are in the green.
Green, yeah.
We also want to check our suction gauge, which is up there on the left.
Okay, yeah.
See that that's in the green as well.
Yeah, it's green, yeah.
Suction gauge is good. Indicators we want to test. All the lights are working.
Okay.
That's our only indicators in here.
Yep.
Throttle, we can now do an idle check. So we want to pull carb heat out. And idle the power for about 5 to 10 seconds. Make sure the engine doesn't die.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. That's good. And then we can put it back to 1,000.
Okay.
All right. Flap set for takeoff we do when we get to the runway.
Okay.
And make sure we can set it back to ground lean. Actually be out, so we can run it up to 1200. And then ground lean it again. Sometimes it'll go a little too far and it'll start sinking. Just put the mixture all the way back in. Cool, that's ground lean.
Cool, yeah.
All right, takeoff briefing. If we experience an emergency before we reach VR or rotate off the ground,
Okay.
we'll pull power idle, use brakes, and stop with the runway ahead of us.
Okay, yeah.
If we have one after VR, under 1,000 feet with remaining runway left, we'll put the plane back down on the runway. If there's not enough runway remaining, then we'll pick the best emergency landing area within 30 degrees of our heading.
Okay, yeah.
If we lose our engine above 1,000 feet, we will turn back around and land back at the airport.
Okay.
Any questions about that?
I'm fine.
Okay, cool. And then taxi briefing we do once we get our clearance. So I'm going to switch over to ground on our second comm.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm in my second comm.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go ahead and give them a call. So I'm telling them where I am, that I have the weather information,
Yeah.
and what my request is. I want a east departure today.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and run my ground Cessna 63843.
Cessna 6843, up on ground.
At South Ramp with information hotel, request east departure 63843.
Cessna 843, hold short of Bravo, taxiway.
Hold short of Bravo taxiway at Solo 2 63843. Okay, so I let them know, right? Whenever I call somebody, I want to say who I'm talking to,
Yeah.
and then who I am, right? And we have this little badge here
Yeah, okay.
that tells us our tail number.
Yeah, I see.
And then after that, he responded back to me telling me that he was ready for my request, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll tell them I'm at South Ramp. I have information hotel for that weather,
And it's departure.
and I want an east departure, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. And then he responded back to me, right? He could tell me to wait or stand by.
Yeah.
He can also tell me, like he did, he told me to hold short of Bravo,
Bravo, yeah.
and we're on Zulu 2. So if it's a
Okay.
black background with a yellow sign, like letters,
Right.
that's where we are.
Okay.
That yellow sign with black lettering
Yeah.
is where we would be going, right? So if we turn left here or right here, we'd be on Bravo.
Okay, yeah.
So he told me to hold short of Bravo, so I'm going to wait here.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Redmond Tower Information, India's current altimeter 299.3. Alpha 1906, turn left, Charlie 3, left
I'm
on
gonna
Charlie,
turn on
contact me
my
on ground point 8.
GoPro, yeah, by my phone. Just.
And if you want to take pictures or anything, go for it.
Yeah, thanks, yeah. Turned on. Redmond ground, flight 1907, Charlie 3, Charlie, taxi North Chicago.
Flight 1906, Redmond ground, taxi parking via Charlie cross runway 23.
Parking via Charlie cross 23, flight 1906, good day.
Flight 1906, say your ride conditions on the descent, any ice or turbulence?
Next icing, we got a -12,000 correction, -12 degree at 15,000 feet and occasional light turbulence, flight 1906.
Flight 1906, thank you.
Like when you communicate with like in ATC, like which button do you have to press?
So on this one, I have this button.
Oh, okay. Okay.
On yours, do you have one as well?
Yeah, here.
Sometimes it's like a thumb switch, or like you push it in like this.
Ground, Sky Service 5, South moving area. Sky Service 5.
Whenever we stop, we always want to put it back to 1,000 RPM.
843, runway 11, taxi to Bravo.
Runway 11 via Bravo, 843. So yeah, sometimes, right, he didn't say our full call sign. We're not allowed to start that. We have to say our full call sign unless ATC abbreviates it to the last three. So he's now calling us Cessna 843.
Okay.
And he gave us the instruction to go to 11 via Bravo. And this is a airport management truck. They're probably going to like inspect the runway. So we want to stay a good distance behind them. We don't want to get too close to them.
Yeah.
Especially if it was like a fuel truck.
Okay.
Don't want to be super close to fuel trucks running a plane. And then on the next,
Redmond Tower Pursuit runway 11 full length.
He's going to move up here. He just got the call to do so. I'll have you taxi up here and then stop us before those red letters on the ground there.
Okay, yeah.
So holding the brakes with your feet, you can go ahead and take those. Cool. So now you have the plane there.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you need to brake more, you can brake more.
Okay.
Or less, right? And then you can use throttle to control how fast you're moving, right?
Okay, yeah.
Then you're going to want to try to stay on this line and then stop us before the red lettering while keeping us on there. If you want to go left, you either use a little brake.
Yeah.
Then we can keep going just a little bit here. And then we'll use right rudder. All right, so go full on the right. And use that little bit of brake
Oh, yeah.
to keep us in. Cool. Now we're back at 1,000. And you can keep your feet on there and just kind of shadow what I'm doing.
Yeah, okay.
And we went to runway 11 via Bravo, and I also did an instrument check, which I'll teach you how to do later as well. So now we're doing our before takeoff checklist, right?
Yeah.
So we have throttles set at 1,000. Radios we can set, so we have our next frequency, which is going to be Redmond Tower, so we can actually switch over to them on the comms.
Okay, yeah.
Flaps set for takeoff, we're doing a normal takeoff, so 0 is fine.
Okay, yeah.
And doors closed and latched, so just make sure those are good.
Yep.
When we're cleared onto the runway, we're actually going to do a couple more checks. Preemptively, I can turn off my taxi light and turn on my landing light,
Okay.
as well as have my timer set, because we're going to do all of this while we're rolling out to the runway.
Oh, yeah, I see.
All right, so I'm going to let Redmond Tower know that we're ready for departure.
Okay.
Redmond Tower, Cessna 63843, hold short runway 11, ready for departure.
Cessna 6843, Redmond Tower, hold short runway 11, vehicle on runway.
Hold short 11, Cessna 843. Yep, so we still have that truck on the runway
Okay,
moving,
yeah.
so he's waiting for that. So on this list, right, there's different ways of doing it. I have my own list memorized. As long as we get all of this done, we're still good.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure seatbelts and seats are secured still.
Okay, yeah.
The final area, so where people are going to be coming in to land on this runway, I don't see any planes. No one on the runway ahead of me.
Yeah.
Those are good. As I'm crossing over this line, I would want to start my timer.
Okay.
Make sure that my landing light is on. And I want to make sure that my mixture goes halfway rich.
Okay, yeah.
Then, once I've confirmed, okay, we're on runway 11, there's some big numbers right there.
Yeah.
Make sure we're taking off of runway 11.
Update, Roger.
I'll then say clear.
Cessna 843, eastbound approved, runway 11, clear for takeoff.
East approved, runway 11, clear for takeoff, 843. All right, so I'm rolling out here. Our final and runway area is clear. Make sure I've put half rich. Landing light is on. Crossing this point, I can turn on my timer, and you can go ahead and feel everything out here. Seatbelts and seats are secured. Trying our best to stay on this line right here.
Runway 11.
And we can use a little brake if we need to help us get over there.
Cessna 0 Papa Charlie,
So we
runway
see-
11, clear touch and go.
Runway 11 is confirmed. And then you can hold on to the yoke here
Okay.
and put your heels to the floor. We don't need to be on brakes anymore.
Okay, yeah.
And then you can go ahead and put in full throttle. And then keep your hand on the throttle.
Okay.
All right. So looking down, we have instruments still in the green.
Yep.
Airspeed is what we call alive once that needle
Okay.
starts moving.
Yeah, live.
Yep. And once we hit 55, we're going to nice and gently
Yeah.
start pulling back on here.
Oh.
Ooh, a little bit of wind. So right there is all we need, right? And then we're going to want to put a little wind correction in to the right to get us back over that runway. And we're going to try to pitch the aircraft because we want to leave that throttle full
Okay, yeah.
and pitch this aircraft so it stays at 67.
Okay, 67.
Just took off a plane for the first time. Yep, so that's what happens when you're in a little bit of a crosswind. We can pull back on the yoke just a little bit more to get our airspeed closer to where we want it.
Okay, yeah.
There we go. And then we can also use trim to help us out a little bit, keeping that nose up for us,
Okay.
so that we don't have to pull back on the yoke super hard, right?
Yeah, okay.
Cool. All right, and we can also look back at that runway and see how our alignment is to it. We want to make sure,
Okay. Yeah.
right, because we're getting pushed a little to the left because of that wind.
Yeah.
We can push this a little to the right. Very good, yeah. Do you need to move your seat a little bit more forward? Cool. Now, once we're 700 feet AGL,
Yeah.
we can turn to head eastbound out of this area.
Okay, yeah.
So you can start making this left turn
Left turn, okay.
over to the east. And then slowly roll us back out, right about there. Kind of head in this direction right here.
Okay.
Bring us back to level. And looking, yep, you can use trim to help you. That's a great idea. If you're
Yeah.
pulling back, use down
Yeah.
trim to bring that nose up.
Okay.
Very good. How's it feel?
Yeah, it's like
Kind of crazy right now, right?
If I want to like push the nose down, I have to trim down, right?
You would have to trim down, yes.
Okay,
We don't want to
yeah.
fly with the trim, but if we're like having to pull really hard on the
Yeah.
yoke, we can use trim to
Yeah.
help us, right?
Okay. I think I'm pulling too hard. Yeah.
And then keeping it like this.
Yeah. Okay.
Not too much, so push that nose down a little bit here. Ooh, might be a little
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah. I see, yeah.
There we go. Cool, and then just using yourself here, right? Once you have it set at like a certain attitude,
Yeah.
it'll stay there, like at that airspeed if we just hold it there, right?
Yeah.
So now we're a little bit late, but once we're over 1,000 feet AGL, right? So we started at 3,000, 3,800, so pretty much 3,100.
Okay. Yeah.
Now we want to, after 1,000 feet, to do what we call our climbing checklist.
Okay. Yeah.
So climb checklist. I can hold on to it a little bit here for you while you look at the checklist.
Okay. Yeah.
I have control.
Okay. You have control.
I have control. So on that climb checklist,
Okay. Pitch for airspeed, VY or
Cessna
VCC.
57, we make
so
sure.
we're pitching for VY right now, so we want 67.
67. Okay.
So what I'm trying to do, right, is look outside of the aircraft,
Okay.
and I'm trying to find a point where this pitch is going to hold 67.
Okay. I see. Yeah.
And it's usually not this bumpy, by the way.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're holding 67 right now, pretty much
Yep.
right here, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So now I want to trim it so that I don't necessarily have to touch it, right?
Oh.
See how it's just holding like that now?
Yeah.
So if I saw that nose fall,
Yep.
I'd put a little bit of nose up, right?
Yeah.
If that nose was trying to rise when I left it there,
Yeah.
then I'd use a little trim
Nose down.
to put that nose down, right?
Yeah.
That's how I trim the aircraft out.
Okay.
So we've done pitch, throttle we want full,
Cool. Yeah.
flaps we already have up.
Okay. And mixture is required.
lean above 3,000 feet.
5,400.
Yep. So once we get to 6,500 is where I would start leaning the mixture.
Okay.
Head us north here. Where I would start leaning the mixture. And then trim, we've already set, right?
Yep.
Cool. And then last thing we have to do is traffic avoidance. So we just want to look out and scan. Look for other traffic, and then we're also in a high wing aircraft, right?
Yeah.
So we can't really see above us all that well, right?
Yeah, I see.
So we can do a little wing rock, and look left, see that no one's there. Look right, see that no one's over there.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. Also gonna squawk 127. And I'm going to monitor, this is a LOA thing that we have with Seattle Center.
Okay.
Because they have like the big, you know, jets and stuff coming in here.
Yeah.
Approximately 1 Bravo 4 requested.
And I'm going to monitor their frequency in case they need us to get out of the way of a plane that's coming in.
Okay, yeah.
Roman Harrison, SS560 Papa Charlie's midfield on the left, down 141.
All right, cool. So now we're at 6,000.
Touch and go.
So I'm going to pitch us down because I want to cruise at 6,000.
Okay, yeah.
So now I'm going to pitch to maintain 6,000. Once my airspeed gets high enough, I want to reduce my throttle
Okay, yeah.
to a cruise setting. And now I'm going to want to trim it out. The first thing I want to do is pitch, power, and then trim.
Okay, pitch power trim.
That way,
Yeah.
let's get this on. Air frequency 122. 1227. 1227, so that's just the local frequency for Prineville. We have another airport right over there.
Okay, yeah.
So, pitch power then trim, and you can hold it for right now.
Okay, yeah.
So you can maintain 6,200, and we'll finish up this cruise.
Okay.
So we've done pitch, power, we've set our cruising. Trim, we also have pretty set right now, right?
Yep.
Mixture, I could lean. So same thing we do on the ground. I'm just going to spin this out slowly. Till I get a rise and then a drop. Right there was the drop. So I can spin it in 2 more times after that drop to make sure we're lean.
Okay, yeah.
And then landing light we can turn off. And then we want to check and monitor our engine instruments. So these two are still in the green, and then we just want to keep periodically checking on them every once in a while, right?
Okay, yeah.
Cool. This is it.
Oh.
1 o'clock.
Is this
Low,
north
3
practice
miles.
area?
Yep, and let's turn a little bit to the left here.
Let's go.
You can maintain 050, which is what you're on right now.
Okay, yeah.
All right. When you're ready, go ahead and turn us heading 070 while maintaining 6,200.
Okay. Turn right heading 070.
Water 524 Golf Tango, tail tire squawk 4675. Four Golf Tango, squawk 4675.
Very nice. Yeah, this plane's pretty fast. Goes over 100 knots. Alright, cool. The other thing too, we generally want to keep our hand on the throttle just in case anything happens.
Okay, yeah.
If you're feeling like you're needing to like stretch out to reach it all the time, you might need to move your seat forward a little bit.
Tango, radar contact, 4 miles to the west.
Alright, so now let's try descending a little bit.
Okay. As filed, climb
And I'm going to make a quick call to Prineville.
Prineville altimeter 29er, pattern 4.
Prineville traffic, Cessna 63843, 4 miles to the...
Sierra Uniform, we are requesting the procedure turn
north of the field at 6,300, heading to the east, primal traffic. All right, so go ahead now. I want to try descending. So let's descend down to 5,900.
Okay, descend 5,950.
And how we're going to do that is you're going to pull the carb heat out.
Carpet out?
Yep, so you can take that, and then that turns our carb heat on, which we can see lowers our RPMs, right? Because that's hot air that we're shooting in there.
Okay.
So you can pull that out again really quick and leave it out. And then reduce our throttle to 1,500 RPMs with the carb heat out at the same time.
Okay.
Yep, so whenever we, in the RPMs,
Yeah.
whenever we're below that green arc, we want to have the carb heat out and on. So you can reduce that, or pull that back, and then reduce our throttle down to 1,500. Let's maintain 090 while we do this. And when you reduce it, right, you have to pitch down a little bit to maintain that airspeed.
Okay, yeah.
And then we start that descent down here, right?
Alaska 11,
Very nice.
12, maintain 12330.
So, this is how we descend, right? We have about a 600 feet per minute descent, very stable, right? We have a good setting up here. Airspeed's looking good, right? We're not going too fast or too slow.
Okay, yeah.
And then once we're getting up to 5,900, we can go ahead and add power back in.
Okay.
So right about there. Currently, we're at 5,800.
Seattle Center, helicopter 681 Lima Echo with a
So to
V5.
catch 700 here,
Okay.
you can add back to like 2,200 RPMs.
Helicopter 681 Lima Echo.
And you can be kind of aggressive when you put in that 2,200.
6603.
And begin pitching that plane back up. Pull back on that yoke. Back to 2,200. We're back in the green arc, so now you can push that.
West of the bend airport, the altitude request.
Yep.
4,700, requesting practice approach,
This one?
RNAV, GPS, runway 11
All right.
to Pineville via...
Go ahead, and I want to see a 180 degree turn. Take me from east to west with a left turn.
This will be a full stop or left approach.
Turn left
will be a
heading
approach.
270.
Helicopter
Affirmative.
681 Lima Echo, roger VFR, practice approach approved, no separation service provided, maintain of VFR, the Pineville altimeter is 2994.
Maintain VFR, 681 Lima Echo.
As we bank, right, we
Yeah.
lose some of that vertical lift that we're producing.
Okay, yeah.
So sometimes you might have to pull back on the yoke
Yeah.
while turning so that we don't lose altitude, right?
Okay, yeah.
Right here, yep. We don't have to like change the bank angle, we just gotta pull back to make it come up, and then if we start climbing, release some of that back pressure, right?
Okay, yeah.
Feel how you expected it to feel?
It's slightly different from what I expected, yeah. Because like, all I did was like simulating in known wind. So,
Yeah.
like, I figured out it's quite different in the wind.
Yeah, but ideally I would have liked to take you on like a calm day, but you just haven't been able to fly. You get a little trial by fire here.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Want a picture?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome, yeah.
Cool. All right. Now I want you to try climbing up to 5,900.
Climb to 5,900, okay.
And how we climb is we'll always go full throttle,
Okay.
and then we want to pitch back up for that 67 again.
67, okay.
Yep. And 67, it's always going to be just slightly above the horizon, right?
Okay.
Putting it right around there and then adjusting the pitch until it fits, right?
Okay, yeah.
So whenever you're ready, full throttle. And then bring that pitch up. Nice and easy, I like it. That's perfect. Then keep her going. And right about there, I'd say, is about what's going to settle down at 67. Well, let's actually climb all the way up to 6,100.
6,100. Affirmative.
And if it's not quite getting to 67, we can increase that back pressure to bring the nose up a little more.
That's now 130 Juliet Alpha, radar service terminated, squawk VFR, and contact Redmond Tower 124.5.
Squawk VFR 124.5 Cessna.
Very nice.
1300.
Now while you're climbing here, I want you to keep climbing, but I want you to turn to heading
Okay.
230.
Okay, turn right heading 230.
Left heading.
Turn left heading 230.
Yep, while keeping this climb. And then want to level out just before you reach that heading,
Okay, yeah.
so that you don't go over it. It's a little weird when you have to do both at the same time, right? What heading are you looking for?
230. Yeah, I already passed
Oh yeah,
it,
you're all good.
Yeah.
Let's try make it a right turn to it, and we can level out here at 6,500, then we'll make that turn.
Okay. 6,500 level? Okay.
So we can push that pitch back down. So first thing we always want to do is pitch.
Okay, yeah.
Right, and hold it at 65, let that airspeed come back up, right? If we reduce
Okay.
throttle, we're just going to be super slow.
Okay, yeah.
We'll hold that pitch. Now that our airspeed's good, we can bring that throttle back just a little bit. Until our throttle, right, it's about at like 23, 2400, so that's a good cruise setting.
Okay, yeah.
And now trim, we didn't change the trim, right? So your
Yeah.
trim should still be set, right?
Okay, yeah.
Perfect. So now, make that right turn to, let's do 240.
Right turn 240. Okay,
Yep.
turn right heading 240.
And while you're doing this, let's try to maintain a 25-degree bank.
Okay,
So the 25-degree bank is going to be,
between second and third?
yes, nice, very nice. Get your natural. Doing fine.
Okay, 230. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
it
very nice.
Yeah.
That was very good.
Okay.
Cool. So, we don't have too crazy much time. It's kind of getting a little bit. I'm going to turn this on for a little bit.
Okay.
It's always good to cycle the carb heat, especially like right now, right? It's getting a little hazy and stuff.
Yeah.
Just to try things out. Would you like to see a steep turn?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah? You get to feel a G.
Okay.
So, I have controls.
Okay, you have control.
I have controls.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we do a maneuver, first thing we want to do is a clearing turn, which we just did those circles, and I was doing a clearing turn without telling you.
Yeah.
A clearing turn would just do a 360, and we scan for other traffic, right?
Okay, yeah.
Other thing we want to do is now we want to do our pre-maneuver checklist, so we're going to check seatbelts, and seats are secured.
Okay, yeah.
Fuel selector is on both.
Yep.
Flaps are set at 0, that's what we need for right now.
Okay, yeah.
When we maneuver, we go mixture halfway rich from whatever our lean setting was.
Okay.
Throttle, I like my setting that I'm at right now.
Okay, yeah.
Carb heat, I'm leaving on, but usually carb heat would be off for this maneuver. I'm turning my landing light on just to help me, other people see me.
Okay,
My
yeah.
magnetos are on both,
Yep.
and my primer isn't unlocked.
Okay, yeah.
Pre-maneuver checklist complete. I always just do it as like a backwards 7. So like
Okay.
start here, go down, and then just go across.
Okay, yeah.
Next thing I need is an emergency landing area. My emergency landing area will be the fields below me. We have a couple of nice, really long ones.
Oh, yeah.
And then I also want to do HAA. So generally I would pick a visual reference. I can actually use that mountain straight ahead of me,
Okay.
right? So that's
yeah.
what I'm starting out at, and that's what I want to end at in the 360 that I'm about to do.
Okay, yeah.
I also want to pick an altitude, so 6,500.
Yep.
It will be the altitude I select. I have to stay within plus 100, minus 100.
Okay.
And then last one is airspeed. I want to be above 85 knots. Ideally, I want to be above about there, but our VA speed is 91, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't want to exceed 91 if I can help it, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So pre-maneuver checklist is completed. All I have to do now is give a call to letting everyone else know that I'm maneuvering.
Okay.
Primal traffic, Cessna 63843, 5 miles to the north of the airfield at 6,500, maneuvering to the northwest, primal traffic. Always want to say north practice area. Okay, cool. So we are set up currently. I'm going to get myself back up to 6,500 here before starting.
Yep.
And then you're going to feel a little G. If anything, or if you want me to stop, just let me know.
Okay.
But it's nothing too crazy. All right. So I'm going to bank in about 30 degrees at about 200 RPM and use some trim to help me.
Okay. Oh.
And then holding that right there. I can see I'm climbing, so I'm going to release some of that back pressure. As we drop again, there's a G.
Oh. Yeah, I can feel it. Oh.
Right. And holding that bank all the way in. We're climbing, so I let it descend. And then there's my reference point, so I can roll out.
Yeah.
On my reference, reduce that throttle, reset that trim, and now I can do the cruise checklist to complete that maneuver.
Oh, cool.
Feels a little weird, right?
Yeah.
You have controls.
I have control.
You have controls.
Yeah.
All right, and then cruise checklist, we're pitching for level, which you are doing right now. Throttle, we have set at cruise. Trim, we already have set. Mixture, we have set currently. We're about to descend, so I'm actually going to leave it as is right now. Landing light, we can turn off. And engine instruments, check monitor.
Okay, yeah.
Other thing you want to do, right, is when you do a checklist, you want to make sure you do that checklist and then switch back to that map page.
Okay, yeah.
That way. And we want to make sure we go to VFR sectional.
Bravo traffic, system 177 Bravo Delta, turning left base for Newport 1 Fractal.
Oh, that's really weird. Why is your sectional not coming up? We're gonna have to fix that later. But the reason why we do this, right, is we can see all of our frequencies and stuff.
Okay.
You can also see other traffic on here, right? If you look down at your iPad.
I see, yeah.
And let's turn heading 230.
230.
Actually,
yeah.
Yeah, let's go all the way to 200 actually.
Confirm 220.
Yep, left turn.
Okay, yeah.
2000, stopping to 13,000.
And we're gonna head back to Redmond here.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, dude, you're doing great. That's awesome.
Empire 8667, Seal Tower, where are you checking in?
2,400, coming to 13,000.
Alright, so we're gonna head to the left of this like hill, or like mountain over here, right?
Okay, yeah.
And then that's gonna be Smith Rock, over there.
Ah, that one is the Smith Rock.
Yes,
Okay, yeah.
and then that's where we're gonna tell Tower we are,
Okay.
and request to re-enter the Delta.
Okay, yeah.
And you can also reduce throttle and have us descend down to 4,100.
Okay, 4,100.
Or 4 Golf Tango, go ahead.
We already have car feed on, so we don't have to worry about car feed as well.
Or 4 Golf Tango, unable 180, I can do 17,000 if that works for you. Or 4 Golf Tango, Roger, climb maintain on 17,000.
Okay, so as we're descending down here, right? Generally speaking, I've already enriched it, but we'd always want to make sure that we're using mixture on the way down, right? If we lean at a high altitude, if we descend thousands of feet, we may not have enough fuel, right, in the mixture setting to keep the engine running. Turn a little bit more left here.
Okay.
Kind of fly between these two mountains.
Okay, yeah.
But when we're descending down to go to any airport or anything like that, we want to do our descent planning checklist.
Okay, yeah.
The first thing on here is radios and ATIS. So we can go ahead and go back to that 119.025, right?
Yeah.
And listen.
Runways 11 and 23 in use. Hazardous weather information for Ravens available on flight service frequencies. Call for release in effect to the outline San Francisco. Runway
And keep
11
turning left here.
out of service.
I want to go like over these fields.
Contact you India.
Yeah.
Rapid tower information India 1556 Zulu. Wind 150 at 12, gust to 20. Weather better than 5,005. Temperature 1, dew point minus 6. Altimeter 2993. IFR arrivals expected on average approach runways 11 and 23 in use. Hazardous weather information for Oregon's available on flight service frequency.
All right, so I went back again, right? And made sure